The Holy Scriptures teaches us that we are to cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions and the house of Jacob their sins, in the book of Isaiah, the 58th chapter, the first verse. Well, I have a story to share with you where the pastor did just that. Next, on this edition of the Sound Doctrine Ministries, Christian Common Sense. Blessings to the remnant of the saints of the Most High. A preacher transformed himself into a homeless person and went to the church that he was to be introduced as the head pastor at that morning. He walked around his soon-to-be church for 30 minutes while it was filling with people for the service. Only 3 people said hello to him. He asked people for change to buy food. No one in the church gave him any change. He went into the sanctuary to sit down in the front of the church and was told by the ushers that he would have to sit in the back. He greeted people to be greeted back with stares and dirty looks, with people looking down on him and judging him. And as he sat in the back of the church, he listened to the church announcements and such. When all that was done, the elders went up and were excited to introduce the new pastor of the church to the congregation. We would like to introduce to you our new pastor. The congregation looked around, clapping with joy and anticipation. The homeless man sitting in the back stood up and started walking down the aisle, and the clapping stopped with all eyes on him. He walked up to the altar and took the microphone from the elders who were in on this, and paused for a moment. Then he recited, "Then the king will say to those on his right, 'Come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me.' Then the righteous will answer him, 'Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and gave you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needed clothing and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and visited you?' Then the king will reply, 'Truly I say unto you, whatever you did for one of the least of these, my brethren and sister, you did unto me.'" After he recited this, he looked towards the congregation and told them all what he had experienced that morning. Many began to cry, and many heads were bowed in shame. He then said, "Today I see a gathering of people, not a church of Christ. The world has enough people, but not enough disciples. When will you decide to become disciples?" He then dismissed the service until next week. My brothers and sisters, being a Christian is more than something you claim. It's something you live by and share with others. 2 Timothy, the 2nd chapter and the 15th verse states, "Be diligent to present yourself approved to God, as a workman who does not need to be ashamed, accurately handling the word of truth." Now, although at first glance it seems like this verse is to the pastors, the apostles, elders, but it's to everyone, because we all should work diligently to present ourselves approved to God. Study to show thyself approved. And that's what we all need to do. Maybe some of you will learn from this lesson. Maybe you won't. But the seed has been planted in your spirit. Will you water it? Will you nurture and cultivate it? Will you let the Father nurture and cultivate it? It's all up to you, or not. Until next time, stay prayerful, stay focused, stay in the will and the word of God. Blessings and peace to your home. Bye.